Good day, Bermuda. I had the opportunity and the privilege on March the 6th, Monday, to have the opportunity to go through the tourism budget. Unfortunately, as we were going through the cabinet office, which the tourism industry and the tourism budgeted line falls under, we were only given about 7 minutes to ask questions. So I really never had the opportunity to really get into the meat of what it is that we are doing. What I will do today is highlight some of the things that I did hear from the minister and voice my concerns and my elation on some of the things that I feel are coming up for this next budgeted year. One of the challenges that I have with where we are today with tourism is that we are not putting enough money behind our product. We are being basically left behind when you take a look at what is going on in the rest of the Caribbean. The Caribbean is out marketing us 3-1. This can no longer go on. And what I have been imploring from the tourism minister is that we have got to put our money where our mouth is. We cannot have a budgeted amount of $19.5 million going into a tourism industry when we already know that we are behind. This is now $1 million less than the year before and $1 million less than the year before that. And if we go back, it's even more less. And so we have got to be putting more money into this product. And the reason is we have over 4,300 Bermudians who are hired within the industry. It is our second pillar to the economy. And we have got to find ways to put our money where our mouth is. What we see being budgeted is we're going to give less and less and less money to a pillar of our economy. That can no longer work. And that is why we are being outpaced, not only by the Caribbean islands, but many of the other jurisdictions far away from us that have half of the beauty that we traditionally have had over the years. This is a major problem for us. And so I am imploring the minister, and I said it in my 7 minutes that I had, listen, you have got to give more money, even if it means coming back with a supplemental, because this industry is vital to getting Bermudians back to work. We have been imploring upon our government, get hotels built so that we can get our people back to work. There's so many things that we could be doing. We are too far behind in the industry. And so what I'd like to be able to do is highlight some of the things that I found as we went through the 7 minutes that I had to debate. I liken our tourism industry to this. We are in critical condition. If you go back 20 years and take a look at the stats that we had approximately 13 flights daily coming into here with 8 carriers. What we have now as abysmal 5, maybe 7 at peak flights a day and only 5 carriers. We have got to put more effort behind this. And so when I liken the tourism industry of being in a critical condition, anyone going to the hospital in critical condition, all nurses and doctors are full at hand, administering whatever is necessary to stabilize and get that particular person back on its feet. This is not what we are seeing from this government. We are seeing a government who has a hands-off almost approach to the tourism industry, and that is why we are in critical condition today. The BTA has done a fantastic job as an independent body, as best it can, to get us to where we are. We now need to move forward. Building an airport like the OBA did to take us in the future was one of the ideas that we had, and we knew that we needed to get more flight here. What we have now is not more flights as they promised they would get, but we've got less flights. This is not going to work. We recognize also that airlift and hotels go hand in hand. The OBA was very successful in getting places like the Lauren and St. Regis up and going within its tenor. With this government over the last 5 years, we have yet to see a new hotel come to fruition. We're still waiting for Southampton Princess to come to fruition and the renovations take place. Trying to get information from the government is like pulling teeth on this particular project, and this can no longer be. I did not hear from the minister that we are going to be getting more information concerning Southampton Princess. We raced through legislation to get it to the table so that we could get Southampton Princess going, and still to this day, we have no idea on a completion of that time. Now understand that affects taxi drivers, that affects tour guides, that affects people that are going to be working within the hotel of Southampton Princess. We said it's going to be around 500 to 600 people. We're now hearing 700 employees. All these folks are not working right now, and they're looking for jobs. We are in critical condition. And so as we go through some of the highlights here, I need you to bear in mind what we are talking about. We are talking about the livelihood of Bermudians, our second pillar. And our government continues. PLP continue to talk about they care about the people, but they are not putting their money where their mouth is. This industry is vital to people being able to survive in Bermuda. With the ongoing cost and the increased cost of groceries and electricity and the likes, you can't get a bag of groceries for less than $100, it seems now. And for an industry where an average salary is about $40,000 to $50,000, this is not acceptable. And the government needs to do more at helping getting the industry back up and going. As of the late news lately, you've heard how we've lost even more airlines. The flight from Miami, gone. And we saw where the Boston flight, gone. We did hear from the transport minister that Boston is coming back on. And I'm sure that there is a minimum revenue guarantee that has been put in place, something that the government, this PLP government, chastised us for, but now they're having to do it. And I say if we have to have a minimum revenue guarantee put in place to start getting bodies here, more bodies here, moving back and forth, then so be it. This is about putting infrastructure in place so that in 5 years from now, we are in an excellent position financially, our people are working, and we have a tourism product that is returning back to Bermuda the kinds of revenues that we used to see of the past. That's where we need to be going. So let me go to some of the highlights, and I've taken note here of some of the things that came up. Medical tourism was one of those. Listen, again, I believe it could work. My challenge is this. The cost of living in Bermuda and the cost to operate a business is extremely high. So my question is, if everyone is going to other islands for low cost cosmetic surgery, medical type surgery, then why would they come to Bermuda at such a high cost? If we can overcome some of these challenges, I believe we have a win-win situation. But this again is another what I would call pipe dream that we're hoping will happen. It sounds good, but under this particular PLP government, will it happen? Remember, we're still waiting for a hotel that we've been talking about for a long time now, Southampton Princess, a staple to this country, and they can't even get that going. One of the other things that I was concerned about was Airbnb. We now understand that there's going to be a new fee for Airbnb. I need to remind you, Bermuda, about what Airbnb has been doing for us. It has held the tide because we don't have the hotel rooms. And at a time where they continue to hold the tide, it is not now time to increase their costs, but to allow them to thrive under the conditions that we are in to get more people here. We have heard from those who have Airbnb, the TA form was catastrophic for them. Literally catastrophic for them. We begged the government to do away with the TA form. Only now are we just getting to the point whereby it is gone. They've already affected thousands of tourists. The best marketing in the world is word of mouth. And this PLP government took the opportunity to raise revenues through a TA form, but at the same time, destroy an industry. This cannot be. And so I am very much concerned about the increased cost for Airbnb when they have been holding the tide for the tourism product here in Bermuda so that we can get back on our feet. And one of the other challenges, I think, with this, many Bermudians are going into Airbnb simply to save their homes, guys. That's why they've chosen to do it, because they can no longer afford to pay their mortgages. And so we have a wider problem, a greater problem than just Airbnb, and Bermudians may be taking rooms that they could be renting out to locals. We have a wider problem here. People are trying to survive in a highly cost economy in Bermuda. And this is a real challenge. And that's why we have been imploring this government. You have got to get moving faster, because we can. The OBA showed us that we can move quickly and stimulate the economy to the tunes of hundreds of millions of dollars. What we are looking for this government to do is the exact same thing. We cannot allow our people to be drowning when we can do better. And it is not enough for this government to say, okay, well, we're going to cut back more on your tourism allotment and think that that is going to work for the industry. It's not. One of the other things that I highlighted in my short 7 minutes was, I talked about the airlift, was the increase in yachts. There was good news. It is anticipated, and we have seen the fact that we have super yachts coming here in a higher volume than we have seen in the past. What I would like to do is remind you why this is happening. This is simply happening because we brought the America's Cup to Bermuda. And so, again, tourism not only works well when we are marketing on billboards and the likes, but it works extremely well by word of mouth. And those super yacht people that came here during the America's Cup time are now telling their friends, Bermuda's a wonderful place to come and visit. And we are now seeing the results of the America's Cup, where more super yachts are coming. What I have implored the government is that I believe the next step should be putting in infrastructure so that when these super yachts do come, they have maintenance challenges and they want to fix different things and they need to get supplies. We need to set up an infrastructure that allows for these super yachts to come here to get minor repairs as they're traveling across the Atlantic Ocean. And we can take advantage of that with our many, many engineers that we have here, which would be a windfall for us. One of the challenges, I believe, that as we go on is ensuring that we have more and more, and I'm just going through my notes, we have more and more marketing taking place. When I spoke to the BTA, I was surprised at how much work they had put in, quite frankly. And I was elated and felt very confident with the BTA team and the work that they had done. We did hear from the Minister of Tourism how content and happy he was with the team. And so I'm hoping that this team stays intact and that we have the leadership going forward that is going to take us into the future. I want to congratulate the BTA for getting us to where we are today. We were in a dark place a year ago, 2 years ago, going through COVID. And the BTA has been able to gather itself to get us together and to get us to the point that where we are today. I am imploring this government that they must put their money where their mouth is. The tourism industry is the second pillar of our economy, and they need to do more to support getting Bermudians back to work. In closing, let me just say this here. We've got to revive tourism in order to survive. And my challenge is this. The PLP government is failing our tourism industry and failing our people of Bermuda who are in the industry looking for opportunity. They have got to move faster. In closing, Bermuda, let me say this here. Casinos were promised, still not delivered. More airlines promised, still not delivered. New hotels promised, still not delivered. We must and can move faster. We must revive to survive the tourism industry. This PLP government is failing us. It is failing the tourism industry and failing the people within the industry to support and to survive in Bermuda at a very trying time. Thank you.